The hush before sunrise often carries questions. Will uncertainty press upon you again? Will tired bones yield? Will the next hurdle loom larger than yesterday's? In that fragile glow, crickets fade while the first birds declare a promise, and you feel a gentle invitation to lift your face toward awakening light. The Lord, ever-present beacon and unfailing shield, stands ready to instill renewed strength, guiding each courageous step you take beyond your doorway. His desire is simple yet profound, that you release every anxious thread, still your racing plans, and listen for the whisper that shapes your heart into reflecting grace. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. So Isaiah 60 sing when. Let these words settle, they reveal what He intends for your path this morning. Where do you need His vigor most? Within weary thoughts, strained relationships, hidden dreams. What burden, if placed into His hands, could turn you into a radiant witness of enduring hope? Now, as your heart grows still, we step into the first movement of this prayerful journey. Soft gold edges the horizon, and you sense more than a sunrise. Heaven's gentle push that rouses dormant courage within your chest. You breathe in crisp air laced with dew, letting it cleanse yesterday's residue from your mind. Even the smallest leaf, trembling on its branch, testifies that new mercies meet you here. The Father paints creation in fresh hues to remind you that nothing about today is recycled futility. It is an unrepeatable gift, crafted for growth and glory. You listen as distant sparrows weave a harmony that sings every lingering doubt. And you realize their song is free because they rest in a provider who never forgets them. In that awareness, you open the windows of your soul, letting first light spill across inner corridors long shadowed by fears of failure or insignificance. You name those fears silently, then watch them scatter under heaven's brilliance, like mist retreating from a field. Lamentations 3:22-23. These verses echo dawn's pledge that compassion never expires. They steady your gaze on the one who renews all things each morning. Now picture a lantern set beside a traveler's map. Its small flame renders complex routes visible. Likewise, divine light illuminates not every mile, but the next step. Inviting trust rather than exhaustive knowledge, you sense God urging you to trade frantic control for quiet confidence. His voice is neither thunder nor whirlwind, but a steady current drawing you forward. Each inhale carries possibility. Each exhale releases yesterday's weight. You notice how light enters through cracks in your surroundings, between curtains, over the lip of your coffee mug, across polished wood. And remember that your life too has fissures. Yet those openings become channels where compassion pours in, polishing rough edges into humble brilliance. The dawn does not scold night for existing, it simply arrives and transforms. So you resist self-reproach for past missteps, choosing instead to let illumination rewrite the narrative. Stand by your window for a moment longer, letting the sky widen your perspective. Somewhere beyond sight, communities rise, seas churn, stars fade. Still, the same Creator choreographs each detail and holds your heartbeat in rhythm with a cosmic cadence. You are not incidental. You are appointed to carry luminescence into hallways, offices, markets, wherever human need longs for warmth. When conversation feels heavy, remember the spark entrusted to you. When tasks feel ordinary, recall that excellence glitters through faithful hands. Now whisper a quiet yes. Yes to being guided, yes to being brightened, yes to being sent. Feel the affirmation settle like sunlight on water, making ripples glow. No achievement today will outshine the simple obedience of staying open to God's presence. The unfolding of your words gives light. It gives understanding to the simple. Psalm 130 eyes. Let this promise guard your intentions, keeping curiosity vibrant and motives pure as you walk into the morning. And so the day begins, not with surviving, but with awakening light leading every breath. The echo of yesterday's fatigue still hums in your joints as you rise. Yet another melody is tuning itself inside you. An anthem of vigor God sings over the willing. You pause at the edge of bed, palms open, acknowledging that endurance cannot be manufactured, only received. In that honesty, a current flows from source to soul, like a river fed by mountain snow, cold and clean, rushing beneath the surface of ordinary skin. You stand, stretch slowly, and every vertebra clicks into alignment with purpose. Breath becomes liturgy, draw in newness. Release the residue of strain, draw in promise. Let go of self-reliance. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. So Isaiah 40:31, picture wings unfurling wide, catching unseen thermals. The ascent is effortless because the bird trusts the air. Carry that vision to your schedule. Tasks line up like hills across a horizon, some steep, others rolling, none belong to you alone. Invite the Spirit to pace your footing, to set a cadence that matches divine tempo rather than frantic culture. When unplanned demands appear, you do not scramble, you pivot, steady as a tree whose roots drink deep water even in drought. Every decision, from emails to embraces, becomes an outlet where supernatural stamina expresses itself through patient tone and clear eyes. Notice how strengthening light thickens through the windows, tinting walls with amber. In similar fashion, resilience enters quietly, shading thoughts with confidence until conversation, creativity, and compassion glow. Attend to these subtle arrivals. A simplifying idea, a friend's message that lands like a smile, the flavor of tea reminding you life can be gentle. Gratitude keeps pathways open. Complaint constricts them, so bless whatever mercy shows first. As caffeine flows through bloodstream, recognize a deeper power no beverage can supply. It steadies your pulse when criticism lands, widens your view when details blur, anchors hope when numbers disappoint. Strength is not a reservoir you hoard, but a living companion who walks corridors beside you, whispering strategies born of eternity. Your assignment is simple, keep listening. Later, when afternoon haze threatens to drain momentum, remember the dawn river and let it run again. Step outside. Let breeze whisper across your face. Repeat the promise aloud. Movement resets rhythm. Worship resets motive. Even brief pauses become wells where vigor is drawn up anew. Tell your muscles they were crafted for kindness. Remind your mind it was designed for insight. Assure your heart it was sculpted for compassion. Each faculty flourishes when surrendered to the sculptor. Now tighten laces, lift your bag, and step toward the doorway. You are not bracing to survive, you are positioning to shine. Thresholds turn into altars where unseen renewal becomes visible action, where private surrender unclenches hands to serve. With every stride you affirm, provision will accompany purpose, resources will match requirement. And should limits appear, remember rivers part for those who march in trust. Today, your endurance will be story, torch, and invitation. Morning progresses, and streets awaken with rustling shop fronts and distant engines, yet a quieter summons nudges you beyond predictable routes. You tighten your grip on the door handle, sensing holy anticipation in the threshold moment, an unseen hand inviting you to trade caution for faith-lit movement. Courage is not recklessness. It is clarity formed in prayer, a certainty that the one who guides your stride already stands in tomorrow's crossroads. You inhale steady air, allowing renewed strength to fuse with daring resolve, then cross the sill like a sail catching wind. Sidewalk stones gleam with lingering dew, mirroring fragmented sunlight, each fragment a reminder that bravery is often assembled from small obediences rather than dramatic leaps. You choose to greet the overlooked coworker, to speak truth gently in a meeting, to apologize first even when pride protests. Every humble decision becomes a stepping stone toward destiny, echoing the pattern of the Master who walked dusty paths to heal, uplift, restore. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Sir Joshua 1:9. These ancient words breathe into modern streets, assuring you that divine presence is not confined to chapels, but marches beside backpacks, briefcases, lunchboxes. Traffic hums like a river of intent around you, yet fear tries to swim upstream. Whispers of inadequacy, memories of past stumbles, forecasts of critique. You refuse their counsel, anchoring awareness in the God who scripts possibilities wider than statistics. Courage flourishes where love overrides self-preservation, where compassion silences comparison. When tension rises in conversation, you recall that a calm answer can turn swords into plowshares. When deadlines compress, you remember that patience can stretch time by uncluttering focus. Notice sparrows swooping from wire to twig, tiny bodies trusting invisible thermals. They remind you that risk is woven into design. Wings were not shaped for perches alone. Likewise, skills entrusted to you yearn for application beyond comfort. Consider the idea you have shelved because timing seemed poor, the invitation you declined out of self-doubt, the relationship you left in lukewarm silence. Today may be the appointed hour to revisit, to speak, to build. Yet courageous steps do not dismiss prudence, they integrate wisdom and initiative. You pause at crosswalks, discerning signals, both literal lights and subtle prompts within. The Spirit tutors perception, highlighting paths where influence can bloom, mentoring a junior colleague, offering resources to a struggling neighbor, advocating for justice where voices tremble. Each action inscribes light on the canvas of community, illuminating spaces that once felt dim. Mid-morning sun now rests on your shoulders, warm but not oppressive, a living metaphor of God's oversight, close enough to empower, high enough to offer perspective. You adjust posture, squaring shoulders not in arrogance, but in readiness. When doubt circles back like an insistent crow, you reply with quiet declarations. I am accompanied. I am equipped. I am sent. These statements, repeated under breath, cultivate internal landscapes where fear finds no soil. Keep walking. Pavements will change texture, conversations will shift tone, circumstances may surprise. But the cadence of courageous faith remains constant, step Listen, respond. In the evening, when you look back over mapped mileage, you will trace unscripted moments where eternity brushed time because you chose to move. Courage is not a single shout. It is a day-long dialogue between willingness and grace. Continue it with every heartbeat. Noon light pools across polished floors, casting mirrored shapes that dance beneath your steps, and you sense an invitation to become similarly reflective, catching divine brilliance and sending it gently into every surrounding shadow. The morning's courageous stride has placed you among colleagues, clients, neighbors. Now the assignment shifts from forward motion to inward radiance. You slow your breathing, allowing serenity to settle behind your eyes, so that those who meet your gaze encounter acceptance rather than appraisal. Like a lake that keeps the sky intact upon its surface, you choose stillness of soul, knowing turbulence distorts the image it carries. Moments to practice arrive unannounced, a terse email, a driver edging into your lane, a friend's hurried confession of worry. Instinct counsels self-defense or impatient rebuttal, yet grace reorients reaction toward compassion. You remember how mercy found you at dawn and decide it must not stop with you. Words leave your mouth softer, calibrated to heal rather than win. Gestures turn deliberate, offering space, time, or apology before they are requested. Such kindness is not weakness. It is strength made tender. Like steel tempered in fire, so it can bear weight without snapping. From His fullness you have received, grace upon grace. To John 1:6 each, these few words unveil abundance. Divine favor flows in continual waves, ensuring you never exhaust your supply when generosity pours through conversation, correction, or silence. Consider sunlight passing through stained glass. The glass diminishes none of the light's power, yet shapes it into colors that kindle wonder. You too possess unique contours, personality, history, skill, that refract holiness distinctly. By honoring those contours rather than masking them, you allow onlookers to witness God's creativity expressed through ordinary humanity. That authenticity disarms cynicism because people recognize sincerity quicker than slogans. Grace also reframes failure. When missteps occur, an impatient tone, a forgotten promise, you refuse to indulge shame. Instead, you acknowledge, amend, and move forward, illustrating redemption in real time. Observers learn that excellence is not perfection, but resilience. Your willingness to apologize promptly becomes a living sermon that quiets fears of judgment and invites mutual growth. Even in private thought, grace trains imagination to envision others' burdens before cataloging their faults, to remember unseen pressures behind visible mistakes. As afternoon shadows lengthen, you sense fatigue pressing against demeanor, and reflection threatens to dim. You retreat for brief reprieve, step outside, let breeze brush temple, whisper gratitude. Such micro-sabbaths polish internal mirrors, preventing smudges of irritability from obscuring shine. You return refreshed, carrying equilibrium that stabilizes group dynamics and transforms routine dialogue into sanctuary. Near day's close, a final test emerges, perhaps in the form of unexpected criticism or urgent demand. You pause, recall the dawn covenant. Shine. Do not merely survive, and answer with composure. The outcome may still challenge logistics, yet tone sets trajectory. Grace spoken at dusk lingers in memory long after details fade. You leave environments brighter than you entered, not by force but by reflection, illustrating that when a heart beholds glory, it cannot help but emit gentleness. In evening twilight, you will note that miracles often looked like measured replies and patient listening. Yet their cumulative effect reshaped atmospheres, and you will recognize that grace, once mirrored outward, returns multiplied, flooding interior chambers with quiet joy. City lights flicker awake as late afternoon deepens. Yet the brightest glow others see is the quiet fire carried in your demeanor. It spills from your posture when you hold a door for someone laden with parcels, from your voice when you affirm a colleague whose ideas were overlooked, from your eyes when a stranger's sadness catches you off guard and you choose to notice. You do not broadcast virtue, you simply live luminescence, and it spreads farther than any announcement ever could. Your presence becomes a hearth where weary souls gather, drawn not by spectacle but by steady warmth. An intern confides fears about making mistakes. You lean in, offering perspective earned through your own imperfect journey. A neighbor apologizes for last week's sharp remark. You respond with genuine relief rather than restrained resentment. Each exchange transforms ordinary time into sanctuary, proving that influence is less about volume and more about resonance. As evening commuters press forward with determined pace, you move more slowly on purpose, aware that haste can trample tenderness. You let another car merge, and the driver's surprised wave ripples an unseen chain of courtesy. You thank the barista by name, and suddenly the queue around you softens. These moments appear trivial, yet goodness compounds. Kindness alters atmospheres like subtle fragrance altering stale air. Radiance also speaks through craft. Whether you design presentations, assemble machinery, teach children, or prepare meals, excellence itself becomes testimony. By giving tasks meticulous care, you announce that mundane labor can reflect eternal beauty. People sense the difference. Projects completed with wholehearted attention carry an afterglow that outlives deadlines. Even when results are modest, integrity leaves a sheen that critique cannot dull. Yet all witnesses face fatigue. After a string of giving, you feel internal batteries dip. Rather than masking depletion, you pause to receive again the strength promised this morning. You turn off screens, step onto a balcony, and let cool air stroke forehead and forearms. In stillness you remember, you are not the source, merely a prism. Light continues to flow because you remain transparent, not because you strain. That realization loosens tension from shoulders and allows gratitude to circulate like fresh oxygen. Tonight's sky begins to pearl with early stars, and someone you scarcely know sends a text. I felt lighter after our chat. Thank you. You smile, recognizing that glory moves through simple connection. Influence, you see, is measured not by applause, but by the echo of comfort left behind. Earlier dreams of survival have yielded to confirmation that shining is not an outcome, but a process. A day-long conversation between heart and heaven, shared in silent beams. As doors lock and hallways quiet, you reflect on the tapestry of encounters sown since dawn, the hesitant laugh you coaxed from a coworker, the patience that softened a tense decision, the brief prayer you whispered over a friend's fear. None were dramatic, yet all were incandescent threads. This, then, is your calling, to carry gentle brilliance wherever darkness drifts, to remain convincingly hopeful so others dare to hope. Tomorrow's sunrise will rekindle purpose, but tonight you already see the evidence surviving has been eclipsed by shining, and the glow shows no sign of fading. Evening settles, yet embers of light cling to the rim of sky, reminding you that brilliance never truly departs. It only changes hue. Throughout the day you have awakened, strengthened, dared, reflected, and witnessed. Now hope stretches its canvas across twilight, inviting you to rest in promise rather than performance. Street lamps flicker on, echoing the dawn's pledge that illumination adapts to every hour. You feel the steadiness of a rhythm bigger than sunlight, a heartbeat of faith that pulses through midnight as surely as through morning. You place keys on a table and sense gratitude flooding rooms where silence gathers. Memories of small victories stir like soft wind over quiet water. Challenges remain, unfinished projects, unresolved conversations, unspoken grief. But none diminish the core certainty that tomorrow's mercies already wait at the horizon's edge. The same presence that guided your first breath at dawn now enfolds your shoulders like a gentle shawl, inviting release of tension you scarcely noticed accumulating. In response, your chest loosens and mind unclenches, making space where reassurance can dwell unchallenged. Consider seedlings hidden beneath soil. Darkness above does not signal demise, but gestation. Likewise, questions that linger tonight are seeds preparing to break ground when conditions align. You acknowledge them without anxiety, labeling each with quiet anticipation instead of dread. Future answers will emerge precisely when wisdom ripens, and until then, hope sustains you with calm expectancy. You walk outside once more, letting cool air weave through hair and clothing. Stars emerge, shy yet persistent, scattering silver across ink. You trace familiar constellations and recognize a metaphor. Single points joined into a story far larger than individual sparkle. Your day's acts of kindness, patience, and courage likewise interlock, shaping a constellation others might navigate by when their own skies feel obscured. Hope invites you to believe that nothing offered in love dissolves. It lingers, guiding unseen travelers. A distant owl hoots, signaling night's governance, and you remember that darkness plays its part, providing backdrop for brilliance, interval for recovery, quiet for reflection. You do not fear it, you cooperate with its rhythm by granting body and spirit the gift of rest. Close unfinished tabs, power down glowing screens, release mental replay. Whisper assurance to your own heart. You have shown today, now you may simply be. In that surrender, stamina renews for a dawn not yet born. Before stepping back indoors, you lift palms to the sky, offering every unresolved detail like fireflies escaping jars. They ascend into vastness where divine creativity orchestrates outcomes beyond your reach. You return inside lighter, trusting that while eyes shut, purpose continues maturing, relationships keep healing, and unseen corridors open. Hope is not passive. It is active confidence that the same hand painting galaxies is sketching tomorrow with meticulous grace. Drift towards sleep with steady breathing, each inhale a pledge, each exhale a release. Should thoughts attempt to race, anchor them to slow gratitude. Name blessings in reverse order until mind succumbs to quiet. You have not merely survived, you have shown. And the glow persists even while lids close, because its source never slumbers. Night is no threat to light. It is the stage where endurance proves its worth. As dawn peers over the horizon, recall yesterday's journey. Awakening light, renewed strength, courageous steps, reflecting grace, radiant witness, enduring hope. Breathe in slowly, letting remembrance settle like dew on freshly turned soil. Ask which moment sparkled brightest, and where might today's canvas invite deeper color? Hold that question gently. Answer may arrive in silence, in conversation, or in the simple act of kindness you will soon extend. Trust that the same steady guidance accompanies you now, ready to script new brilliance as you rise.